Hi guys, I'm sorry I didn't post on Friday. We actually had an impromptu trip to Vegas, so it was a work thing for Cash, and I decided to go with him because you only live once, right? But we didn't really see too many people. I saw my cousin briefly. It's just because we were only there for a day, and then the other 2 days were travel. But I did get to see my best friend. So her husband is the crazy Hawaiian. He does the slap fight. He's a slap fight champion, and he had a fight, and so the whole family was going, and I got to meet up with him. We had dinner, got to hang out with my babies, which I miss them so much, and I'm just so happy I got to see them. But I got baby kisses and cuddles and all kinds of loves, and that made me super happy. And then we were traveling back on Friday, and then seriously felt like I had a hangover all weekend just because of the drive and the grogginess and all of that. So I'm posting today, and then I'm going to post again on Friday. Okay, so sorry about that jippy video last week. I like it when I have better things to say, but sometimes I just want to post and I don't want to let anyone down, and so I at least just say what's going on, however boring it may be. But I actually so I got my marketing material for my realtor stuff. I'm super excited about it. I have 3 different appointments set up in the next week and a half with a lender and a couple of title companies, just so I can get established. And I already have a couple of leads on hopefully some clients. So I'm super ecstatic about that. And again, I'm going to go out there and knock on doors and stuff here pretty soon. But I have to get my relationships established first so that I can help people go in the proper direction. But it's taken off. It's however slowly it's getting there. Once I get there and I know what I'm doing, and I have people I can fall back on and ask questions and all that stuff, but I'm not scared of that part. It's just a question of getting there and contacting the right people and getting connected with prospective buyers and sellers. That's probably the whole issue when you get started up and you establish this kind of customer base, and people spread word of mouth and everything else. So I just got to get there and get my feet wet, or so to speak. So there is something that I kind of wanted to talk about now. It occurred to me, when I was just kind of thinking the other day, that it probably comes off that I'm like super catty towards my mother. And I know some people would say, rightfully so. But I do really want you guys to know that I try my best to hold back a lot of the animosity. I do have a lot of deep-seated anger and frustration and resentments that are there that I really try my best to get through and get past, but sometimes it creeps up. And so I kind of wanted to tell a little bit about how it was to be a kid without really throwing my mom on Front Street, because again, my real goal here is not to expose all her deep dark secrets and make her look bad. I'm not trying to do that. I truly think that she believes that she is right, her way is right, and that she's doing things according to her belief system. I just don't understand her belief system, I guess, is what it comes down to. So so I just I wanted to go there a little bit today, just to help you kind of understand, and again, there's a lot of stuff I could say about her that would be the absolute truth, but that will come off like I'm trying to defame her, and that's not what I'm trying to do. So I don't want anyone to think that I attack her or that I am out to get her in any way. There's a lot of things I could have done to at least make her life hell had I wanted to years and years ago, and I just I want you guys to know that I love her very much. And what I want to talk about is some things that she's done that the part of me that loves her wholeheartedly doesn't understand and can never quite wrap my head around, and maybe it'll give you a better kind of understanding of why I don't feel that closeness that most people feel with their parents. And it really stems from long before any of my issues long before any of the books or any of that stuff, you know. So just so you guys can get kind of a better kind of grasp. So there's one thing out of all the little things, there's one thing that I keep going back to, and you don't realize how deeply something that seems so small can affect you, considering that I am well into my 40s now, and I still feel the kind of pain that this instance caused the same as I felt it years and years and years ago, you know. And so when I was a senior in high school, believe it or not, I had a 4.0 average. My junior and senior year, I had a 4.0 grade point average. My sophomore year, first semester, I had some B's and some A's, and I think one C. Second semester, my sophomore year, my report card said I had 3 D's and a C, and it was actually 2 D's, and the D minus was actually a B minus. It was a misprint, which I did have proven and fixed on my records. But I was not a C student, and so they were like incredibly shocked, and I got in an incredibly huge amount of trouble over it. So I figured out that it was best if I kept my grades up, because if my grades were up, then it was going to pull a lot of that suspicion off of me, and they wouldn't be so watching my every move. So I decided to start doing my homework again. It wasn't that I couldn't do the work, it's that I just got lazy and stopped doing my homework. And again, I was smoking a lot of weed at this time, and I was drinking at parties when I snuck out. I was not doing meth. Not until later. To my mom's credit, she probably assumed I was, because my behavior was a little bit crazy, but there's not really any excuse for it. I mean, teenagers do stupid teenager things, but also I wasn't allowed, when I had good grades and everything was perfect and I wasn't getting in trouble, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to do anything. If I went to a friend's house and spent the night, I had to be back by like 7 a.m. the next day. They would come and pick me up at 7 a.m. And I mean, all my friends thought it was like crazy, and it was embarrassing, and that was when I was allowed to. You know, there was a lot of times when it was like, hey, can I go spend the night at my friend's house? And I was like, go ask. It wasn't, his name is John, my stepdad, but for years he went by his radio name, which was Mike. So at the time it was Mike, and it was like, go ask Mike. So I go ask him, already knowing what the answer would be. And it would be like, I don't know, Crystal. There's a lot of chores to be done this weekend. Exactly like that every time. I don't know, Crystal. And then no, for some stupid reason. Okay? So I was already resenting them for that, because I was feeling like, you know, what is the point? And which is why I started not carrying my sophomore year in the first place. Is like, what is the point of working so hard for you guys to be proud and get some kind of reward if there's nothing? There's nothing for me. And that's when I started to get like, I don't care. I just don't care. And so in my senior year, I graduated with you need 23 and a half credits to graduate, and I graduated with, I think, 25 and a half or 26. I had extra credits because I got my computer credit in middle school, I got my algebra 1-2 credit in middle school, and I did a printing and graphic design class that actually got us several credits instead of just one. And you went every day instead of every other day, like on the block scheduling. And in my printing and graphic design class, you had to be like the best of the best. Your grades had to be good, and you had to be in that special class just to even be involved with VICA, which is Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. And so VICA was something to be proud of, and there was a competition in graphic design, and also in there's a lot of other categories. My teacher entered me in prepared speech because I was usually standing on the desk and running the classroom. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say, yes, I would stand up on the desk and talk to people in my loud, obnoxious manner. And he thought I would be good at it. So even then, random people noticed that I was well spoken. I had a decent vocabulary. I knew what I was talking about most of the time, or I tried to, anyways. And so he entered me in prepared speech, and I also entered in graphic design, which I got, I think, 4th or 5th place in the graphic design element, and that was mostly because we didn't have access to the kind of computers that they wanted you to have access to when you competed, so I had no idea how to do part of it. But the speech, that we were given 3 months to write it, I forgot about it, and I ended up writing it the night before I delivered it. It was on lined paper. I didn't even have it on note cards. And I remember the exact topic. It's more like a statement, but I made it work. It was literally VICA quality at work, tomorrow's leaders today. And I wrote a speech based around that topic, and they didn't come to watch me compete. They didn't come to the awards ceremony afterwards. And I sat in there by myself, and they called, and I thought maybe I might have won maybe 3rd or 2nd place. That would be great. And so they didn't call my name for 3rd. They didn't call my name for 2nd. And I was like, okay, I guess I didn't win. And then they called my name for 1st place in the state. And I was so surprised, I forgot to stand up for a second, and I go up there and I get my award, and people that win state, they get to go to nationals, which was in Kansas City that year. And I was so excited that I ran straight outside to the payphones at the convention center, which this memory is funny. This memory popped up again the other day because we went to the convention center for one of the kids' graduations, and I was like, oh my God, the payphones were right here before, and it just, everything flooded back again. And so I called my mom, and I was so excited, and it was like, oh my God, I won 1st place. Can you believe it? I won 1st place in the state. And she gets quiet, and her exact wording was, I hope you don't think we're paying for you to go to nationals. There was no good job, congratulations, I'm proud of you, nothing. And I know that doesn't seem like much. It's just some weird little like anomaly or whatever, but to me it was everything. It was everything. I was so proud, and I was so surprised, and I just wanted somebody to be in my corner and tell me I did a good job, and there was nothing. And that's the kind of thing that I dealt with all the time. And it's like, I get it. Maybe her parenting style is, she feels like she has to push a kid to make them do better, or whatever the totalitarian parenting style is, but it's terrible. It does things to your children's brains forever. And I mean, it also made me want to be a better parent for my kids, and some of them taken from me or not, they still love me. They still call me all the time. They still talk to me almost every day. And hopefully that at least shows something. But the bottom line is that this stuff sits with you forever and ever and ever. And there was no apology. There was no talking about it later. I was like, you know what? I'll make my own money to go. And I did. I silk screened after school for months, so that like a month and a half, 2 months, till it came up. I printed t-shirts and PE t-shirts and PE shorts for my teacher to earn the money to go. So I had almost no spending money. I had like $100 for an entire week for food and everything. And that's definitely nothing now, but it was not a lot then either, And I turned 18 when I was there. I didn't get any phone call. I even called home to see how everybody was doing that day. Didn't get a happy birthday. It was a weird time for me, My 16th birthday, I was expecting at least a happy birthday, okay? But for my 16th birthday, I waited all day, looking at my mom. All I wanted was a freaking happy birthday, Something to acknowledge that it was my special day, something. And it took all day of staring at her. Finally, later that night, just after dinner time, my mom stops what she's doing. She puts her stuff down and goes, I don't know why you keep looking at me like that. Today is just the same as any other day. And that was it. That's what I got for my 16th birthday. So again, I know that she probably has some regrets too, but I don't think that these things are things that she remembers, or um, that they're notable things in her mind. And um, I feel like talking to her about them now at this age is just going to be stupid, or feel stupid, or whatever. Or she'll just, oh, I don't remember that, or oh, well, I'm so sorry, I don't remember that, you know. And I mean, me and my sister have actually like sat down with her once, and we went over some of the stuff that they didn't catch us doing, which me and Kelly had great fun doing that, because there was so much they thought. They're like, oh, we've caught you on everything. And I'm, no, you didn't. You didn't. Because do you remember when we had Uncle Danny come into the house? Uncle Danny? Yeah, that was some guy who just wanted some money for booze. So we brought him into the house. We trained him up, told him what to say to you, and he just did a great job. He was super friendly, nice guy, but he's just a guy that freeing an actual adult that used to come by some of the houses, my friends' houses and stuff, and smoke weed with him. And so, yeah. And then we left for a week and literally just ran rampant on the town for a week while you thought we were in amusement parks out of state. And you didn't catch us doing that, did you? So there's a lot of stuff she did catch us doing. But we were super proud of that one. That was like the dumbest and most clever thing that we did all at once, because we super got away with it. But we didn't really have any master plan as to what we were doing for that week. And yeah, we just ended up like hanging out with different friends. We split up for a while and linked back up again. Got high, got drunk, had some fun, and then met back up again. And we went home, and oh, we were so tired from all the rides. And we had our stories super straight where we could give details about the rides. And, so I think that she's always underestimated me. And I think that, she actually did say she was proud of me for getting my realtor's license, which is something, but it always seems like it's some kind of like a forced afterthought, or, it was like, oh, sorry, you are really proud of you for getting your realtor's license, but you're not going to control my life. Or, so I just, it's really hard to explain the dynamic between us, because it's not like it's bad all the time. It's not like I hate her or anything else. And in fact, the reason I have not fully like confronted her and said, look, you destroy people inside, and it's because I love her so much, and hurting her feelings, and my sister, I think, feels the same way. The thought of hurting her feelings, like outwardly seeing her hurt, is like devastating to me. So it's really tough to figure out exactly how I feel. And so that's why I think I talk about her a lot. I don't ever want anyone to think that I wish bad on her, because I don't. And in fact, I don't want people to stop reading her books or stop supporting her. I feel like most of the time her books tell a good message. They tell stories about darknesses that aren't spoken about, or people have never brought up. And there are people that go through this, young people especially, that goes through all these terrible things, and they always feel so alone. And so I feel like her books do help with that. And without her books, I wouldn't know you guys, right? So that's something. But it's just, I feel like sometimes she doesn't put a lot of thought into other people's feelings, because she feels like everybody should think the same as she does, so she doesn't understand that she hurts people along the way, maybe. For someone who's so smart, sometimes she's completely daft, and it's hurtful. But I don't want anyone to think I don't love her, because I do. I really do. And one of these days I'm probably going to have to hurt her and tell her my truth. And I'm probably going to try to do it with my sister there, because it's really, really tough to talk to her about these things, especially one-on-one, because there's a lot of denial there and stuff. And I think that eventually we'll get the courage to do it, but I don't want to make her sick or upset her or hurt her in doing so. So we're just kind of maybe trying to figure out the best way. But I do feel like that once that happens, maybe my soul will be a little bit cleansed or something. I don't know. Is that what people say? But it was nice talking to you guys about this stuff, and hopefully at least you get a better understanding of kind of that family dynamic and why there's all this like darkness that comes up over seemingly small incidents now. There's just a lot in there, and a lot to talk about. But again, I want to be able to talk about things without bashing people and telling you about their personal failures or things that they did that I know they don't want people to know about, things like that. You know what I mean? I'm not here to throw her out on Front Street or make her look like a terrible person. I actually truly believe that she wants to help people. She's just unable to get to a place where she has empathy at the same time. So she does her best to be helpful. And I know she started a charity that was meant to be helpful, even though there was just a lot of things that went wrong with it. But I know that her intentions try to be good. I just think that in the interim, she forgets about her own kids. And that sometimes we might need her and she's not really there for us. And it hurts sometimes is all. Okay? But that's it. It's more pain than anything else. But anyways, I love you guys. I will talk to you again on Friday. That was a really hard one for me, so I'm like tearing up a little bit, and I don't do that. But hopefully you guys have a better insight now, and hopefully I don't look like such a monster when things come out about my mom. I just want you guys to remember this video because, again, I do my best to tell my truth without telling other people's full truth or hurting them in the process. And hopefully I was able to do that in such a way where it didn't put her in a place where people hate her, because I don't want people to hate her either. Okay? All right, I will talk to you guys soon. I love you all. All right, bye.